Have you ever woken up, looked at your reflection, and wondered where that man went, the one who used to feel strong, focused, and alive? I see that moment every single day in my clinic. Men sit across from me, eyes tired, shoulders heavy, and whisper the same quiet confession, "Doctor, I don't feel like myself anymore." It's not just the body that weakens, it's the silence that follows. They stop talking about it, they hide it, and somewhere deep inside, they start to believe that losing their power is simply what happens with age. But that's not the truth. What I've learned after decades of listening to men like you is that it isn't time that steals your strength. It's what's silently happening inside your blood vessels, your hormones, your cells. It's a slow fading that begins long before you notice it. And by the time you do, it feels almost impossible to turn back. But here's the part. Most men never hear your body hasn't forgotten how to be strong. It's just waiting for the right signal, a simple, natural trigger that tells it to wake up again. And the best part, that signal doesn't come from a pill or a prescription. It comes from something you already have in your kitchen, a small, everyday food that can reignite energy, rebuild circulation, and restore confidence faster than most treatments I've seen. I've watched it happen too many times to call it coincidence. Men in their 60s and 70s who thought their best days were gone found their spark again, not through luck, but through science. And if you stay with me, I'll show you exactly what that change is, when to do it, and why it works so powerfully. Because the truth is, losing vitality isn't inevitable. It's reversible if you know where to begin. Most men don't realize when it begins. There isn't a single moment, no loud alarm, just a quiet shift. One morning, the energy that used to come naturally starts to feel forced. The confidence that once filled the room turns into hesitation. I've watched this pattern unfold in thousands of patients over the years, and every story begins the same way, with silence. They don't tell anyone at first. They convince themselves it's just stress or age or maybe a bad night's sleep. But deep down, they know something feels different. The spark that once made them feel alive is fading. From a medical standpoint, this decline isn't random. Around the age of 60, blood flow in men drops by nearly 30% compared to their 40s. That means the very system designed to deliver oxygen, nutrients, and hormones to every organ, including the one that defines male vitality, starts running like a river clogged with debris. Cholesterol, inflammation, stress hormones, they all pile up, narrowing the passage until the current weakens. Think of your body as a city powered by electricity. When the wires are damaged, lights begin to flicker. Muscles weaken, sleep becomes shallow focus, blurs, and even desire, that invisible spark between the mind and body, begins to fade. Not because a man is broken, but because the current has slowed down. I've had men tell me, "Doctor, I wake up tired even after 8 hours of sleep," or "I used to feel that drive every morning, now I just don't." And I always tell them the same thing: your body hasn't failed you, and it's simply forgotten the rhythm it once had. The good news: that rhythm can be restored. Science now shows that by reactivating blood circulation and rebalancing key hormones, men can reverse much of this decline, sometimes in as little as a few weeks. I've seen it happen again and again, not with drugs or invasive treatments, but with one small, consistent change each morning. And what's even more fascinating is this: the trigger that wakes the body up isn't complicated or expensive. It's something most men already have sitting in their kitchen right now. Because, the truth is, it's not medication that brings a man back to life. It's the right morning ritual. And in the next part, I'll show you how that first hour of the day can either destroy your vitality or completely rebuild it. Most people underestimate what happens inside the body between 6 and 8 in the morning. Those quiet hours right after you open your eyes decide how the rest of your day will feel. Your hormones, your blood flow, your metabolism, they're not random. They follow a rhythm written deep in your biology. Testosterone, for example, reaches its peak at dawn. Nature designed it that way. It's your built-in morning boost, the body's signal to rise, to move, to lead. But here's the catch: the moment you reach for the wrong food or skip breakfast altogether, that natural surge begins to crash. I've seen it over and over again. A patient wakes up, downs a cup of coffee on an empty stomach, maybe grabs a sweet pastry, or skips food completely, then wonders why he feels drained by noon. What he doesn't realize is that caffeine spikes cortisol, the stress hormone that constricts blood vessels and lowers testosterone. Add sugar to that, and you've just created the perfect storm energy that burns fast and dies even faster. Harvard researchers found that men who started their day with refined carbs and caffeine alone experienced a 45% drop in sustained energy within 3 hours. Meanwhile, men who ate a balanced, nutrient-dense breakfast maintained higher focus, stronger circulation, and more stable hormone levels throughout the day. I like to think of it this way: your morning is the ignition key to the rest of your system. Give it cheap fuel and the engine sputters. Give it real nutrition and every cylinder fires the way it's meant to. That first hour sets the tone for everything. How clearly you think, how deeply you breathe, even how confidently you stand. One of my patients, a 68-year-old engineer, once told me, "Dr. Mornings used to feel like a mountain I couldn't climb." We changed just one habit: his breakfast. Within 10 days, he said, "I wake up ready again." His blood pressure stabilized, his concentration improved, and that heavy fog he carried for years began to lift. The science behind it is simple but powerful. When your body wakes up, it's thirsty for oxygen, hydration, and the right nutrients to kickstart circulation. Miss that window, and you spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. Use it wisely, and you multiply your energy before you even leave the house. And here's the part that surprises most men: the single best food to take advantage of this morning window isn't exotic or expensive. It's something humble, familiar, and probably sitting in your fridge right now. Because what fuels you first thing in the morning doesn't just feed your body, it determines how alive you'll feel for the next 24 hours. And in the next part, I'll reveal exactly what that food is and why it works so quickly. It often shocks even my most skeptical patients. When I finally tell my patients what this food is, they always pause. Some smile, some laugh in disbelief. Others look at me and say, "That's it." And I nod because it really is that simple. The food that restores circulation, supports hormones, and brings energy roaring back is the egg. I know what you're thinking. An egg. Something so ordinary couldn't possibly hold the secret to vitality, right? But that's exactly why most people overlook it. Inside that simple shell lies one of the most complete sources of nutrition on Earth, a perfect balance of amino acids, vitamins, and minerals designed for growth, repair, and strength. Let me explain what happens inside your body when you eat it the right way. The egg contains L-arginine, an amino acid that converts into nitric oxide, the molecule that opens your blood vessels like a valve. It's the same process that prescription drugs try to mimic, except this comes from nature, not a lab. Better blood flow means more oxygen, more nutrients, and yes, better performance in every sense of the word. Then there's zinc and vitamin D, a combination that works like a natural switch for testosterone production. Zinc helps your body build hormones while vitamin D activates them. In one study from the University of Graz, men with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% higher testosterone compared to those who were deficient, and all it took to improve their numbers was consistent morning intake of these nutrients. Beyond that, eggs contain choline B12 and selenium, a trio that sharpens the mind, protects the nerves, and fights fatigue. These nutrients are critical for men over 60 because they help your brain communicate efficiently with your muscles and reproductive system. In plain terms, they keep your body and your mind speaking the same language. One of my patients, Robert, 72, used to start his day with toast and jam. He told me, "Doctor, I feel heavy all morning and sluggish by 10. We replaced it with 2 soft-boiled eggs and a glass of warm water. Within 2 weeks, his energy stabilized, his focus returned, and the tiredness that followed him for years began to disappear." His wife later told me, he laughs again. "It's like the man I married came back." And here's what I find remarkable. Your body recognizes real food immediately. Unlike powders or supplements that pass through half-absorbed nutrients from whole eggs, are bioavailable, your system knows exactly what to do with them. It uses every drop. That's why I often call this small habit the morning reset. It's like pressing a hidden switch that tells your body, wake up, it's time to repair, to rebuild, to live again. But the magic isn't just in what you eat, it's in how and when you eat it, because timing can make the difference between ordinary results and extraordinary transformation. And in the next part, I'll walk you through the exact method, the simple timing and preparation that unlocks every ounce of strength waiting inside this humble food. This is where everything comes together. Most men who hear about the benefits of eggs rush to the kitchen, fry them in butter, add salt, or eat them at random times of day, and then wonder why they don't feel any difference. But the secret isn't just what you eat. It's when and how you eat it. Your body follows a natural rhythm, a biological clock that controls hormones, blood pressure, and energy production. Between 6 and 7 in the morning, testosterone levels reach their highest point of the day. That's the golden window when your body is most ready to absorb nutrients, repair tissue, and build strength. If you feed it right in that moment, you multiply the impact of everything you eat. That's why I tell my patients to start small, 1 egg a day. During the first week, eaten within 30 minutes after waking. Once your body adjusts, move to 2 eggs daily. It may sound simple, but precision is powerful. Soft-boiled or gently scrambled works best cooked through, but still tender. Never fry them in butter or vegetable oil. That only adds oxidized fats that block the very arteries you're trying to clear. A drizzle of olive oil is all you need, and skip the heavy seasonings or sauces. Your body doesn't need extra sodium or phosphates first thing in the morning. Pair your eggs with a glass of warm water. It may sound trivial, but hydration at sunrise does more for circulation than most supplements on the shelf. Water helps your blood move freely, carrying oxygen and nutrients where they need to go. One of my patients, David, 69, laughed when I first told him this. He said, "Doctor, I've been eating eggs my whole life." But he never paid attention to when or how. Once he followed this exact protocol, 2 soft-boiled eggs within 30 minutes of waking, no butter, no salt, and a glass of warm water, his mornings transformed. He called me 2 weeks later and said, "It's strange. I don't just feel awake, I feel alive." That's when I told him what I'll tell you now. So how the body rewards precision. When you treat it with consistency and respect, it responds faster than you'd believe. 2 weeks of discipline can achieve what months of random effort never will. But understanding the method is only half of the story. What truly makes this routine powerful is why it works the exact biological chain reaction that starts the moment you take that first bite. And once you understand that, you'll never look at a simple breakfast the same way again. I've treated men for over 20 years, and few things still surprise me, but this simple morning habit does every single time. The transformation it triggers inside the body isn't magic. It's pure biology finally being allowed to do its job again. Here's what happens. Inside every egg is an amino acid called L-arginine. When you eat it, your body converts it into nitric oxide, a natural compound that relaxes and opens your blood vessels. Think of nitric oxide as the body's internal electrician, flipping the switches that restore light to every room in the house. Within days of consistent intake, circulation improves, oxygen moves freely, and the fog that so many men describe begins to lift. Better blood flow means every organ, your heart, your brain, even your most private one, receives the oxygen and nutrients it's been craving. That's when men tell me, "Doctor, my energy doesn't crash anymore," or "I feel sharper, more focused." What they're really feeling is life returning to the system. Then there's the duo of zinc and vitamin D. These two nutrients act like master conductors for testosterone. Zinc helps the body produce the hormone, and vitamin D tells the cells how to use it. When levels rise naturally, everything changes. Muscle strength, mood, drive, even bone density. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that men who corrected their zinc and vitamin D deficiencies increased testosterone by nearly 20% within just 8 weeks. And let's not forget choline and B12, the brain's maintenance crew. They repair nerve coatings, boost communication between brain and muscle, and enhance reaction time. When that system reactivates, sensitivity, awareness, and coordination all return. I remember a 73-year-old patient named Edward who told me, "Doctor, I didn't realize how disconnected I'd become. Now I feel everything again." That's the beauty of real food. It doesn't force the body, it reminds it. Every nutrient in that egg works in harmony, like instruments in an orchestra, tuning themselves back to perfect pitch. The result isn't artificial energy, it's restoration. And yet, food alone isn't enough. To keep this renewal alive, you have to support it with the right habits, movement, rest, and rhythm that allow these nutrients to do their full work. In my experience, that's where most men either accelerate their progress or lose it. Because once your body starts to wake up, your lifestyle determines whether that fire grows stronger or quietly fades again. And that's exactly what I'll share with you next, the daily habits that keep this transformation alive long after breakfast ends. Over the years, I've learned that food can start the fire, but lifestyle keeps it burning. You can eat perfectly every morning, but if you neglect your body, your sleep, and your peace of mind, the results will fade. Vitality isn't a single habit. It's a rhythm between what you give your body and how you live your life. I've watched men in their 70s outshine those 20 years younger, not because they had better genes, but because they treated every day like a chance to rebuild, not retire. The difference wasn't luck, it was consistency. They moved, they breathed, they cared about their mornings as much as their meals. Movement is medicine. Just 30 minutes of walking each day can open your arteries, strengthen your heart, and help the nutrients from your breakfast reach the places that matter most. You don't need a gym or a complex plan. The simple act of walking under morning light sends a message to your body: stay alive, stay strong. Then there's sleep, something most men underestimate. 7 hours a night isn't indulgence, it's repair time. That's when your testosterone resets, your blood vessels relax, and your brain clears the metabolic waste that builds up during the day. Miss that rest, and your progress stalls, no matter how well you eat. And there's something even more overlooked, emotional health. Many men stop communicating as they age. They bottle up stress, distance themselves from their partners, and confuse silence with strength. But the truth is, laughter, conversation, and affection are medicine too. When you connect, whether through words, touch, or shared moments, your brain releases oxytocin, a hormone that literally protects your heart and reduces cortisol, the hormone of stress and decay. One of my patients, Harold, 71, once told me, "Doctor, I thought feeling alive was about muscles. Now I realize it's about connection." His words stayed with me because he was right. Energy isn't just physical, it's emotional. When you give your energy to life, life gives it back. So I tell every man who sits across from me, your morning eggs build the foundation, but your habits are the walls and the roof. Without them, the foundation crumbles. With them, it becomes a house built to last. And what's remarkable is how quickly these changes compound. When you align your food, movement, sleep, and mindset transformation doesn't crawl, it accelerates. Week by week, your body begins to remember what vitality feels like. In fact, I've seen it follow a pattern so consistent, it's almost predictable. The first week whispers, the second week speaks, and by the third, your body begins to roar back to life. And if you stay with me, I'll walk you through exactly what that timeline looks like, the step-by-step renewal that's waiting to happen inside you. Whenever I guide a patient through this morning routine, I tell him the same thing: your body doesn't change all at once. It wakes up in stages. It whispers first, then speaks, then roars. In the first week, most men notice something subtle. It's not dramatic yet, just a quiet shift. You wake up a little lighter, a little clearer. That sluggish heaviness you've carried for years begins to ease. Your digestion improves, your head feels clearer, and that morning fatigue, the kind that usually follows you into noon, starts to fade. That's your body's first thank you. The blood is moving again, the hormones are responding, and the repair process has begun. By the second week, the difference becomes undeniable. You'll notice you wake up before the alarm. Your mood steadies. Your concentration sharpens. Some men tell me, "Doctor, it's strange I'm not pushing through the day anymore. The day is carrying me." That's what balance feels like. Your circulation has stabilized. Your oxygen levels are up. And your cells are finally producing energy efficiently again. Even your confidence, the quiet kind that shows in how you stand and speak, begins to return. By the third week, something deeper shifts. Your body isn't just responding, it's remembering. Your posture changes, you move differently, you breathe deeper. Many men describe it as a spark, that same internal current they thought was lost years ago. Their partners notice it too often before they do. One man told me, "My wife said my eyes look alive again." That's when I know the system has fully rebooted. By the fourth week, you're no longer chasing energy. You own it. Your mornings feel powerful. Your mind stays sharp throughout the day. And your sleep deepens naturally at night. Men tell me they start laughing more, planning again, feeling connected to life. That's not coincidence. It's biology and emotion syncing for the first time in years. And the beauty of it is that it doesn't stop there. Once your body wakes up, something profound happens. You start to crave better choices, not because you're forcing yourself to, but because your system finally knows what feeling good actually feels like. That's when I tell my patients, this isn't just about transformation, it's about rediscovery. Because once you felt what true vitality is, again, calm, focused, strong, you'll never want to go back. But as powerful as the physical changes are, there's an even deeper shift that happens beneath it all, one that has nothing to do with muscles or hormones. It's about identity purpose and what it really means to feel alive again. And that's exactly what I'll share with you next, the deeper meaning of vitality and why restoring it is about far more than just the body. When I talk about vitality, I'm not just talking about physical strength or performance. I'm talking about something far deeper, that quiet fire that makes a man wake up with purpose, move with confidence, and feel connected to his own life again. After decades of practice, I've realized that every man who walks into my office isn't really searching for energy. He's searching for himself. He's looking for that version of him that felt alive, capable, and proud to face the day. I've seen it in their eyes. Men who built families, careers, entire lives, and yet one day they start to feel invisible, like they're watching their own story fade from the inside out. One of my patients, Charles 75, said something that stayed with me forever. He looked at me quietly and said, "Doctor, I don't want to be young again. I just want to feel useful." That sentence cut deeper than any medical chart I've ever read, because that's what vitality really is. It's not about chasing youth. It's about feeling needed, capable, alive. And when a man starts to take care of his body, truly care for it, something inside him changes, his posture lifts, his voice gains weight. He starts looking people in the eyes again. That spark of purpose comes back, because when the body begins to heal, the mind follows. Science supports it too. Studies from Stanford and Harvard both found that men who maintain consistent morning routines, movement, nutrition, and reflection show significantly lower rates of depression, better memory, and stronger relationships. It's not just chemistry, it's connection. You see, every heartbeat, every breath, every drop of energy you feel is your body's way of saying, I still want to fight for you. And when you give it what it needs, real food, real rest, real presence, it answers in kind. That's why I tell my patients, your body isn't failing you. It's waiting for you to remember that vitality isn't measured by age. It's measured by engagement, by how much of yourself you're willing to give back to your own life. And I've seen this over and over again. Men who start this routine, begin volunteering, again, rebuilding relationships, even falling in love again, because when energy returns, so does emotion, creativity, and joy. That's what makes this journey different. It's not about adding years to your life. It's about adding life back into your years. And the best part is you don't need to wait months or years to begin. You can start tomorrow morning with one simple action that sets the tone for everything that follows. Because that small ritual you'll do when the sun rises might just change how you live the rest of your life. Here's where it all becomes real, the part where change moves from words to action. Because transformation doesn't start with motivation. It starts with a decision. And tomorrow morning, you'll have that choice the moment you open your eyes. Start simple. No complicated plans, no endless supplements, just you, your kitchen, and 2 fresh eggs. That's it. Tonight, set them aside where you can see them a small reminder that tomorrow is the first morning of the rest of your life. When you wake, resist the urge to grab your phone or rush for coffee. Take a slow breath instead. Let your body wake up gently. Then boil those 2 eggs for about 5 minutes, long enough for the whites to set soft enough for the yolk to stay full of life. Pour yourself a glass of warm water, sit down, and eat slowly. Don't treat it like breakfast. Treat it like a promise. As you eat, remember what's actually happening inside you. That warmth you feel spreading through your chest isn't just comfort. It's blood flow. It's circulation reawakening. It's your arteries opening your hormones, balancing your system, saying, I remember how to do this. You've spent years giving your energy to work, family responsibility. Now it's time to give some back to yourself. This small act is your declaration of renewal, because when you show up for your health first thing in the morning, everything else in your life follows that same rhythm. Your energy, your mood, your focus, even your relationships. One of my favorite moments in the clinic is when a patient comes back after a few weeks and says, "Doctor, I started this to get stronger, but I feel something bigger. I feel alive again." That's how it begins, quietly, personally, one morning at a time. You don't need perfection, you just need consistency. Do it every day without negotiation. Trust your body to remember. Because each time you repeat this ritual, your cells listen, your circulation strengthens, your hormones recalibrate, and your confidence rebuilds. And soon, you'll realize this morning habit isn't just about food, it's about identity. It's about taking back control of your story one sunrise at a time. But there's one final truth I want you to hear before we finish, a truth about aging resilience and the second chance every man deserves. Because what happens after you begin this routine isn't just physical, it's something far greater, and that's exactly what I want to leave you with next. Gentlemen, before we finish, let me leave you with this. What we talked about today isn't just about food or hormones. It's about taking back control of your life. Every small choice you make each morning adds up. That glass of warm water, those 2 eggs that short walk in the sunlight, they may look simple, but they rebuild your strength from the inside out. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s come back stronger, more confident, more alive, not because they found a miracle pill, but because they decided to show up for themselves again. And if there's one thing I want you to take from this message, it's this: you're never too old to start healing. Your body still remembers how to be strong. It's waiting for your attention, your consistency, your belief. So start tomorrow morning, not next week, not next month, tomorrow. Because the sooner you begin, the sooner your life begins to feel like yours again. And if this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Save this video, share it with a friend or brother who needs to hear it. Hit the like button if you found something valuable today. It helps us reach more men who might be silently struggling, just like you. And if you haven't already, subscribe and tap the bell icon so you'll never miss the latest medical insights on men's vitality, circulation, hormones, and natural health. Every week, I share practical tools backed by science, simple things that can change how you age, how you feel, and how you live. So stay with me, stay curious, and most importantly, stay committed to your health, because your best years aren't over. They're waiting for you to claim them.